I'm so happy to have you here. Today we're going to be talking about breath of fire, which has many other names. Some of those names include Kapalbhati, fire breathing, and skull shining breath. So many names, one single breath, and I know that sometimes that's confusing. It was definitely confusing for some of my classmates studying Kundalini yoga, but yeah, I don't know. I've been around. I've seen this breath in so many places. So don't you be one of the confused students either. So breath of fire originates from, as far as I know, it originates from yoga, which has many different forms and styles. In the West, we're very familiar with the asana style of yoga, which is also known as hatha, or like still held poses. However, there are actually, in the Raja Yoga, there are 8 folds of the yogic path, which include, like I mentioned, the asana, body movement practice, as well as pranayama, the breath work practice. That's also another way to find the ultimate goal of yoga, which is yoking together our physical body self, embodied self, with the divine, okay? As well as actually yoking together our consciousness and seeing ourselves as one versus illusion of the self being separate. So the breath of fire is, it's a cool breath. It's a short staccato breath, and it helps to build energy and prana within the body. Prana being that life force energy. It does this by oxygenating the blood. When we breathe vigorously and quickly, we create more oxygen bubbles in our blood, and that oxygen, as it goes throughout our body, helps to move stuck energy. So it helps to detoxify us and to also break up energy blockages, as well as just make us feel alive and more alert, more youthful. It speeds up our metabolism, and it helps us to feel, as I mentioned, youthful and more invigorated. It literally is putting, oxygen, aka air, introducing that into the system. We get the feeling of a lot more of that airy, ether, vata style of energy. So that just means you're feeling good, youthful, and enlivened. All right, so those are some of the benefits of fire breathing. Let's get down to business and actually learn this breath, shall we? All right, so find an easy seat. It can be, for me, this is easily seated, crisscross legs, or you could go on your knees. Release the tops of your feet to the floor or a mat, and your shins will be parallel to the ground. You'll bend your knees and fold your bum back onto your heels. So basically you're just sitting on your knees. You can place your hands on your thighs or on your knees when we get to our final expression of the breath. But I think for right now, actually, I'd like to have you put your hand on your belly, because we're going to track our breathing through our navel. So our diaphragm is at the bottom of our rib cage. It's a muscle that stretches across the torso, divides the chest from the abdomen region, and it is connected with the lungs and the rib cage. And it's going to, anytime we exhale, it's going to contract. Anytime we inhale, it's going to expand. So we're making more space in the chest cavity by pulling that diaphragm down, and also the rib cage is going to inflate because the air is coming in. So it'll be like this when we inhale, And this one we exhale. Okay, so the reason why I'm having you put your hand here on your belly while we try this out is because we want to track that diaphragm, and we actually want to pump our navel in as we're exhaling. We're exaggerating that diaphragmatic motion. So we're going to exhale, and we're not actually pushing in with our hand, we're pulling in through the belly. So, and I'm just having us use our hand to just notice, right? All right, so as we're exhaling, we're going to contract the navel in, and then as we inhale, we just kind of let it go and naturally inflate back on its own. So that's one part of the breath. And then the second part that I'd like you to consciously do is the actual breath. So we're going to start off, we're going to baby step this so that it's really simple. A lot of times in Breath of Fire, I instruct my students to concentrate on the exhale and do a forceful exhale, and then just let the inhale happen naturally and inflate your lungs like just as if your lungs are just going to go to rest. But today, I'm going to explain it in an even different, easier way. So if you can imagine a little puppy dog or a grown-up dog, doesn't matter, and imagine it panting. So maybe it's going to have its mouth open, of course, and it's going to maybe have its tongue sticking out, and it's just going to look something like this. Right? And in doing that, mostly it is exactly what I explained earlier. We're more so focusing on that exhale, right? And then the inhales just naturally come in. So that's what we're going to do here to start. We're going to take that panting breath, and we're going to take the navel pumping step that I just previously spoke about. We're going to marry those two things together. So now let's try that with the navel going in and the exhale, at the same time. So the navel's going to go in with the exhale, and we're going to pant through the mouth. So here we go. All right, so hopefully you got those two things coordinated and worked out together. The next step is we're going to close the mouth now while we do the panting-like style of breathing and pumping the navel at the same time. So we're going to put that together, and it should look a little and sound a little something like this. Now notice that you can probably hear my exhales. You can hear me breathing. So that's a good indicator that you're doing it properly. You do want to be able to hear it because you want that breath to be leaving your nose with a little bit of force, and you want that navel to be pumping with as much force as you can as well. That is the breath in a nutshell. We can try it for about 30 seconds or so together. I do want to caution that women, for us, obviously we have a cyclical nature, and we have our cycle and our menstrual. If you are menstruating, it's best to not do the Breath of Fire on your heavy period days. It can just zap all of your energy. Your body is already diverted, or like sending all the resources down to your womb, and it's doing its self-cleaning thing right now. And it can be challenging when you then start to introduce this like this pump, right? This pumping action here, and also diverting a lot of the oxygenated blood now to the bloodstream, and just it's too much, like it's clash of agendas. So if you're menstruating, maybe instead try just deep breathing. And another time when it is advisable to not do that, unfortunately for us, the women, again, is when you're pregnant, because of the same reasons that your body is already sending all of its resources to take care of another job and another little human being within your body. So we don't really want to take away from that function. So that is my cautionary tale there. And yeah, without any further ado, then let's try this out together. We'll do the 30 seconds of fire breathing, and then a short little pause afterwards. All right, so let's take a couple of deep breaths together. We're going to take 1.5. So we're going to take one full inhale, exhale, and then a half where we'll start the breathing right after that. Okay, so here we go. Inhale, just preparing for this breath. Exhale, and then a half breath in, and then we'll start our breath of fire. Now at the end, we can go ahead and take in a deep breath and suspend the breath. Hold the breath for about 10 seconds. And then exhale. Just stay here and feel your energy right now. Notice kind of what's happening within your body, and notice, the energy. Maybe your heart is beating. Maybe you physically feel some swirlings of energy. But that breath in between, when we suspend the breath right after the breath of fire, is giving our bodies a chance to integrate that oxygenated blood. It's giving us a chance to, just merge it into our being and take it all in. It's a moment of stillness before we're moving and going on to the next thing. So some other notes that I want to mention. Breath of fire it can be difficult to begin. A lot of my students in the past have, thought that it was harsh and they may not enjoy it. And I know that the navel pumping too can sometimes be challenging. As a matter of fact, I felt a lot of core work going on doing that here. So just be aware of those things. But the more that you do it over time, it will become so much easier. And then you'll notice the results, as I'm not sure if I mentioned already, but it will boost your metabolism. That oxygenated blood will come up to your skin. You'll become much more youthful looking and vibrant. And people will be wondering, what is this new aura, this new light, this new glow about you? And it'll be like all your yoga and breath practices. So stick with it. You can do this especially in the morning when you wake up, just to have a little time and space, maybe combined with meditation. Perhaps you just simply do your breath practice. You can also combine this, as I mentioned, with a yoga practice, doing some hatha yoga still positions, incorporating breath of fire. Those will really, really take your practice and your spirituality and everything to the next level. So if you have any questions, please leave those below. Also comment on future topics you'd like to see that we make a educational video about. And let me know how this practice went for you. Let me know if, if you felt lightheaded or dizzy. Sometimes I will bring water with me. It can definitely get you a little parched doing that type of breathing. And if at all ever it does make you feel lightheaded or uneasy, you just want to back off and ease off of it a little bit. Sometimes maybe you can slow down the breath of fire. So instead of doing like 2 per second, you might slow it down to 1. So it might be a little something like, that's fine too. Always modify and really tap into your inner guru, the light within you, because your body is the messenger. Your body is the teacher. It is telling you exactly what you need, what you don't need, what you don't like what your body doesn't like. Maybe back off on those things. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me for this video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot in the algorithm, helps me be seen, helps me to get new followers, helps me to potentially one day earn some money. All right, I love you guys so much. The light in me bows to, honors, and respects the light in you. Namaste and Sat Nam.
If you like this video and want to see more like it, please make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit the notifications button so that you can be informed anytime I post a new video.